Hello, and welcome to Keímeno. My name is Keímeno, and this is where I share my favorite quotes from my favorite books. Our topic for today is about staying the course and realizing the power of here and now. Now, we've all been under pressure, and at times, our challenging moments have pushed us to pivot prematurely and to take the emergency exit. We move from one job to the next, relationship to another, and rotate within friendships as a way to avoid discomfort. I'll give you an example about myself. I changed jobs a lot in my early 20s, not because of career advancement, but merely because I thought I wasn't being paid enough or I didn't like my manager. At some point, I left a job because it was too demanding. Imagine that. My instability and lack of self-introspection caused me to miss out on the many lessons that came with the positions I had occupied. I tell a different story today though, as I have learned the art of embracing my now, the art of forging through any challenge with an attitude of learning and self-reflection. And what if I told you that within the core of your seasons of turmoil lie essential lessons that form part of your destiny? Let's take a look at David, for instance. David was a man in history who started off as a shepherd, herding sheep, and ended up as a king, as the Bible tells us. Let's take a closer look at how he ended up a king and how staying the course can advance your life. In 1 Samuel 16, the Bible tells us that God sent a prophet called Samuel to set out to Bethlehem to find and anoint a king that he had chosen for himself in Jesse's household. Now Jesse had 8 sons, and David was the last. He had been tasked with tending the sheep. Now, tending sheep isn't the easiest of jobs. This role includes leading the sheep to pastures and water, protect them from wild animals, and count them as they enter the sheepfold and guard them at night. Sounds as hectic as your job, right? But let's continue. The Bible says that Jesse brought in his 7 sons before Samuel, but God hadn't approved of any of them. In verse 11, Samuel asked, "Are all your sons here?" And then Jesse replied, "There is still one left, the youngest. He is tending the sheep." Then Jesse called for David. As he stepped in, the Lord approved to Samuel that the young shepherd was the chosen one. David was then anointed to one day become king. What do we gather from this story? 1. Your destiny helpers can only find you in your designated position. Before David was anointed, he was found in the fields, diligently doing what was required of him in that moment, tending the sheep. 2. Staying the course equips you with appropriate tools for your destiny. The shepherding season gave him leadership skills. Not only that, but it afforded him the opportunity to realize and activate his strengths as a warrior when he struck down the lion and the bear. And because he stayed on the course, David was equipped to slay the Philistine giant Goliath who had been tormenting the people of Israel. This also informs us that staying the course not only advances us, but the many lives that depend on our resilience. After all was said and done, David became king not by cultural protocol, but through merit. By staying the course, he sharpened a character that he needed to one day rule a great nation. I am proud and grateful that today, I no longer try to pivot prematurely when faced with a challenge. Before jumping off, I ask myself, what does this moment require of me? I strive towards a life of self-discovery and self-mastery. Of course, I'm not encouraging you to stay under life-threatening conditions. I'm merely asking that you start searching inwardly, because our internal compass and well-being has the power to greatly influence our external experiences. Here's a quote from Robin Sharma on one of my most treasured books, The 5 a.m. Club. "You are exactly where you need to be to receive the growth necessary for you to lead the unusually productive, extremely prodigious, and exceptionally influential life that you've earned through your hardest trials. Nothing is wrong with this moment, even if it feels like it's falling apart. The truth is that every challenging event you've experienced, Each toxic person you've encountered and all the trials you've endured have been a perfect preparation to make you into the person you are now. You needed these lessons to activate the treasures, talents, and powers that are now awakening within you." Unquote. How powerful is that? This is a cordial urge for you to stay the course, for there lies that missing piece we're all pursuing. There lies meaning, and there certainly lies your destiny. There you have it, folks. It's been a pleasure sharing this piece with you. I hope you're ready for a life-changing encounter with yourself. I love you all. Until next time, be good and do good.